Hello and welcome to Smiling Souls. This is Stephanie Keenan Ray and Wendy Tedici. How you doing today, Wendy?
Hello. Very well. If the thunderstorms will stay at bay. My goodness, the lights have flickered once.
Yeah.
Interesting morning.
They'll stay away. They'll
stay away. All of our energy collectively will be like, no.
Yeah.
How about you? What's going on?
It is actually a sunny, beautiful day. My dog has spring fever and has been causing a ruckus. So,
But a ruckus?
Yes.
Is he running
around the yard just being like, woof, woof, woof.
All kinds of shenanigans?
Yeah, exactly. Like I went out and checked on him and he was just like running around the playground and just being like, you're not getting me. I'm not coming over to you.
Neener, and neener.
Exactly. And then he came and sat with me, but he had slime all over his face because he's been causing such a ruckus this morning. But now he's sleeping, so that's good. He knows it's podcasting time.
Podcast day.
Exactly. And we have Caterina Rando with us today.
Hello, everybody. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. So, should we do our oracle cards?
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I have my archangel cards.
I do the same.
Today, for myself, I pulled clairsentience.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's a beautiful skill.
Yeah, right? Archangel Regel. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. Please honor your feelings. Don't be afraid of deep emotions or intense feelings. I can help you distinguish between your own feelings and those of others. I also help you clear any energies you may absorb. I'll guide you towards people, situations, and places with clear and loving energy. Your perspective. Sorry, I'm looking at this word going, what?
All good.
Repetitive. My brain just like completely mixed all the letters up. It was very weird. Your repetitive emotions and physical feelings provide important information. So please notice and follow these feelings. They're answers to your prayers. Ask me to help translate confusing messages so that you can clearly know which steps to take. Working with Archangel Regel. Like an air traffic controller, Regel oversees archangels and angels, ensuring harmony, operation, and order among them all. In this same way, he'll help you sort all your feelings, enabling you to notice, understand, and follow them. So, which I mean, I've always been clairsentient, and there's been a lot of things that I've been noticing. So I feel like today, like the fact that it's coming up is just like, pay attention.
Verification. Yeah, pay attention, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I pulled Archangel Sandalphon. Building the bridge. Your role is to create a connection between heaven, earth, and all hearts. Sandalphon's name means co-brother, most likely referring to the idea that he is the twin brother of Metatron. The on in his name comes from the word throne, meaning this is an angel who is around or next to the throne of God. Fawn is an indication that Sandalphon has a connection to music and sound, and he is often regarded as heaven's master of song. So he's heaven's DJ. Basically. He is one of the youngest yet tallest of the angels. In a past life, he was the prophet Elijah. And when it came to his time of ascension, due to his spiritual knowledge, he attained angelic status. Now he helps those on earth step into their most angelic qualities. Your message. Angels are grateful for the light and energy you bring to the earth, and whether you realize it or not, there is a sacred mission unfolding for you at this time. You are creating a powerful bridge of light between heaven and earth, and your role is to bring the light that crosses that bridge to those who need it most. Take the time to become aware of those in your life who might be feeling left out, unsupported, and othered. Your work is about bringing them together. And so when I read this, I thought of our guest, Caterina. Caterina, just finished reading and my brain is still processing. Caterina, because she is bringing light,
Thank you.
right? With that bridge. And when you just bing, bing, binged, I remember at Celebration you doing that. And I was like, what is that? What's going on? What's happening? And then it was you. And I'm like, I love that. I
Yeah.
love it because no one else I know, bing, bing, bing. So you'll hear a lot of hopefully bing, bing, binging from Caterina today. And Stephanie, you've pulled Caterina's
I
card.
filled a card for Caterina. Yes. It is spiritual understanding.
That's kind of fancy.
It is. Our Archangel Razel. I bring you a stoic information and symbols and helping. I'm bringing you a stoic information and symbols and helping you understand spiritual truths. Your spiritual understanding is rising to another level as you open to new ways of looking at life. Keep an open mind and let go of limited thinking and illusions. Pay attention to signs, information that comes to you 3 times or more. Notice geometric shapes and symbols in your physical and psychic vision. And know that your increased awareness may shift your relationship and career goals. I'll guide you through these changes so your life mirrors your inner experiences. Working with Archangel Razel. As the wizard and alchemist of the Archangel realm, Razel helps us understand ideas and defy normal logic. He expands and challenges everyday thinking in ways that ultimately have healing effects. If you hunger for deep spiritual understanding, ask Razel to enter your dreams. You'll soul travel with him to the classroom where he will help you uncover truths, secrets, and upon awakening, you may not fully remember or understand the teachings, yet this knowledge is permanently embedded in your subconscious where it guides you throughout each day.
Wow.
Right? That's
dang
cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, and so those are our cards. And now it is.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Keenan Ray, and I am so honored and excited to be a speaker for the Moms Matter Summit this May 9th and 10th. The summit is for moms who are stressed out and overwhelmed and just need some added support, like real, actual support that's going to help them, give them tools to reduce their stress, manage their mental health, and to thrive. I will be speaking on micro self-care rituals for busy moms so that we can age gracefully. So there's going to be some powerful tools that we can use daily that will help reduce stress, better our mental health, and help us grow and thrive and have the power to age gracefully at the same time. And it's all about those simple little ways, micro moments in our day that can change how we feel drastically. So it's going to be a powerful talk. It's going to be really fun. And the other speakers for this summit are absolutely incredible as well. It's going to be 2 days of really worthwhile content. As a attendee, tickets are only $15, and you will get recordings of all the speakers. You will have access. You'll get free gifts. There's going to be so much fun things, and I highly encourage you to register for this summit. All right, so I will put the link in the comments for you so that you can get your tickets to the summit today.
Now it is our pleasure and our honor, and we are so excited to welcome Caterina Rando to the Smiling Souls podcast. So Caterina is a woman on a mission to uplift women everywhere through Thrive entrepreneurship. She is an author, sought-after speaker, podcaster, and business transformation coach who passionately serves women leaders and entrepreneurs. With over 25 years of educating and empowering, Caterina is truly masterful at providing a ton of value to her clients. She specializes in authentic selling, embracing speaking to build influence, how to bliss in your business, and thriving women's retreats. So welcome, Caterina,
Thank you.
to Smiling Souls.
Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Stephanie. I'm so happy to be with you.
Excellent. Yeah, we're so happy to have you. Where should we start with Caterina?
I mean, there's so much. Tell us about you being a woman on a mission.
Yeah.
Well, I am born on International Women's Day, March 8th. I have always felt that my mission on the planet, or the one I give my life, is to uplift the lives of women. And I worked on the ERA countdown campaign when I was in high school in my
Very
plaid
cool.
skirt. I was an early feminist. I love hanging out with women. I think women are amazing. I also think that entrepreneurship allows women to live an authentic life. And I think entrepreneurship can be very healing for women. It can be amazing. It can also be a source of great stress when women don't have enough clients, when they're not mastering the money management. And so I want to help women sell authentically. Women don't want to be salesy. So I help them learn how to just be yourself and sell at the same time. There's some stuff to learn. And then I love to help women with the speaking part of it too. The whole idea is that the more economic power women have, the better our life is, our planet, our humanity, because women spend their money on good things and they're very good stewards of money, and we want them to have more.
And so shall it be.
Yes.
Just bringing that into manifestation.
Yes.
Yeah. And can you explain the bing, bing, bing? Since half of the audience is probably going, what is with the binging and why did it make Wendy so excited?
The whole idea is you can't be depresso when you say bing, bing, bing. I was speaking some years ago at a women's leadership conference in Dallas. It was for it was all their women leaders, and they all sold energy. They sold energy, like, for your house, like a different provider for the energy.
Oh, like lights, furnace,
yes,
heat.
all that.
Got
Right,
it.
exactly.
Okay.
And so I'm talking to them about how to stay motivated, because they all worked remotely also. How to stay motivated when you're in sales and you're by yourself. And I said to them, this is what I want you to do when you're in your home office. Everybody stand up, put the girls to the sky, put your arms out, take a deep breath, look up and say, bing, 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 because they were in the energy business. So the idea was that they're impersonating a light bulb, like, bing, bing, to turn on their own energy, to then sell the energy. And because you can't be sad when you're doing this. That's the idea. That's where it comes from, Wendy. So I like to say bing, 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 to add a little extra excitement when something makes you happy or makes you bliss.
Yeah. I love that.
Gosh, that's so exciting. To be honest, I have caught myself doing this.
Oh, yay.
You'd be so proud. And every time I do it, I think of you. But it is powerful, and you cannot be depressed or overthinking or whatever when you're bing, bing, bing. You just can't.
Yeah. A smile just comes across your face when you do it. Yeah.
It's just so funny. And then you watch people around you go, and that just makes you smile too, because it's like, yeah, you just hang on. Just wait. Well, we love your mission. And if we can pull back the layers just a little bit, like, where did you come from? Because your journey, you weren't always this bing, bing, bing person. So tell us about how
Yeah.
you got to becoming Caterina.
Well, sure. My first business was my sister. When I graduated from high school, my sister opened a cafe, Angelina's. I worked behind the counter. And then I guess it was a few years later, she decided she was going to move to Hawaii. And myself and another woman, we took over the business. So I had a cafe and catering company,
Mhm.
and I loved the business part of it.
You
And I
guys
love
have that in common.
and I love the people part of
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
I didn't love the making sandwiches and wearing tomato sauce and running around town with big catering trays. And so I was trying to figure out what's my thing. And this lady comes in my cafe. She thanks me for some advice that I had given her. And she was smiling so big, and her gratitude really touched my heart. I felt a pang of bliss in my chest. And I thought, you know what? This is what I want to do. I already love to help women. I want to help women with their entrepreneurship. So that's where it started. And as you both know, when you have your own business, it's a circuitous route. It's not always from point A to point B, direct. And over the years, I've done a lot of different things, more corporate training, more publishing. We used to publish books.
Right.
For 2 years, we had a magazine.
Mhm.
And
wow.
then I got clear on my favorite parts, which
Mhm.
were leading groups, teaching on
Mhm.
sales and speaking. And of course, going on retreats. Bing, bing, bing.
Mhm.
Yes, we've talked about your retreats and the cruises, and we'll talk more about it. But I don't. So you and Steph have a lot in common. I know Steph is just bursting to say something, but for real, I got chills, Katerina, when you were talking about that interaction with that woman, and you felt that hit of bliss.
Yeah.
But sorry, continue.
No, 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 no. That's an important point, Wendy, because what makes you bliss? What if your life was full of more of what makes you bliss? And that's why I say to the ladies, you're the Beyonce of your business,
Mhm.
meaning you're the talent, and that you're not, you're the inspiration, you're the strategist. You're not everything. And when you're doing the parts of business that don't make you bliss, that's not good for your vitality. That's not good for your health. It's definitely not good for your bottom line, because you're probably not doing the part that you do have to do, which is talk to the peeps and see if they want to be your client, right?
Mhm.
And so your bliss definitely matters in your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And Steph, do you want to talk about your connection to your past?
I did catering from, I don't know,
Oh,
high school
mm-hmm,
on for many, many years, and
mm-hmm.
ran a cafe in Boston. So yeah, except
Wow.
I was that person that kind of enjoyed running around town with the trays and,
Mm.
we're the opposite when it comes to the catering world. Like I loved the like running around and doing the things. Although I loved in the beginning I did event catering. That's a whole nother
Right.
beast, and I absolutely loved that. But the corporate catering of like sandwich platters for businesses, like yeah.
Yeah.
But I get it, yeah, especially and I can see you in a cafe, like being that person that people love talking to, and like,
Mhm.
just you probably make their day, like just chit
Thank you.
chatting with you,
Well,
like,
definitely, definitely you always want to be uplifting. And that's where I learned to get really good at people's names.
mm,
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, is there a trick for that? Because you
Yeah.
introduce yourself and I forget the second.
Okay.
that's why I'm on the back end in the this cafe, because I am terrible with names. Like they go in and out of my head
Hey,
so
okay, it's
fast.
not just me.
Other than my regular clients that would call all the time, like I had certain people that I knew their names. I knew where they were. I
I
knew
know
what floor
faces.
they were on what building.
The thing is, it's when we meet somebody, Wendy, live and in person.
Mm-hmm.
Our brain is taking them in visually first. And so sometimes the auditory, we just miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you forgot it, it's that you
Right.
didn't quite hear it usually because
Right.
of we're also seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing, and the other thing is you have to train yourself. Okay, I'm about to meet a person. Let me really listen for their name.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about, from my perspective, it's really about the attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, once you hear it, setting the intention, okay, I'm going to remember this, and popping it in your head 3 times. Okay, that's Wendy, that's Wendy, that's Wendy. Now, there's other systems where you imagine them something. I don't do any of that. It's all about the attention.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Then the more you do it, the better you get. And like last night, I spoke to the Dots in San Jose. And of course, we get the roster of
Oh,
in
right.
the room. And so as they're introducing themselves, I'm listening to make sure I can hear the name.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really, because sometimes when people introduce themselves, it's very often that you say your name too fast.
Oh,
And,
right.
and I have to say to them, who's that? I have to say to the person next to me, who's that? And half the time they say, I didn't hear the name either,
Right.
So that's really important. But then after, when people introduce themselves, then I do a little tour of the room in my head,
Mm.
reminding myself what everyone's name is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. That's impressive.
And
And
then during my speech,
yeah.
you can say, Sheila, like you, Clarissa, like you, in your business, and then I can bring in the whole room because I remembered their names.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. That's
Right?
okay. I'm going to try that.
Yeah,
Oh, I have to lose. Right.
exactly.
Bing, bing, bing. So as you're talking, Caterina, I'm wondering, what was the point? Was there a point when you made that clear break with the catering or the
That was
cafe?
that meant Wendy. That was the moment.
Okay, so what did that look like?
I let that moment matter. Meaning, well, I was finishing up my master's in counseling psychology already.
Yeah.
I was already in I was already probably on my way to being certified as a coach.
Yeah.
So that was already in place, but I wasn't planning on necessarily. Well, I had a coach, and I'm not sure. Can't remember the
Right.
timeline so much, but I do remember that that's the moment that changed everything. And I said, this is what I'm going to do with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I sold my cafe,
Mm-hmm.
and then I joined the Chamber of Commerce,
Mm-hmm.
and I started to have my business. But when you have a cafe and you want customers, all you got to do is turn on the lights and open the door. People come in, especially if you remember their name and the service is good and the food is good.
Right.
So that didn't happen with my business. And that's when I started to use speaking and networking, of course, to grow my business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I had a feeling it was the universe coming together and bringing you your coaching and this insight, and right, because that's how it happened with me. It's like, oh, well, I've finished my coach training, and oh, hey, by the way, this just happened, and okay, it's like all the planets are aligning.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that happens more often than we give credit for.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy, the thing is that you let that matter too.
Well, right.
I let that matter. And I think a lot of times something happens and you think a woman, something happens, she says, oh, wow, I'm really good at that. Or, oh, I could do this. But then they don't take action,
Mm-hmm.
or they take years and years and years to take action because there's some fear. And I do want to say, you don't have to have the whole road figured out. You just have to know which road you want to go down.
Right.
And as you do that, of course, you'll meet amazing people and amazing opportunities. And it is really important for us as women to not let not having it all figured out prevent us from getting started.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one,
It is a big one.
because how many times, at least for me, and I'm sure for our listeners and viewers, How many times have you let not having everything figured out just stop you?
Mm-hmm.
Guilty.
Absolutely.
I like to say that ready is a myth. Oh, I'm getting ready to do this, or I'm getting ready to do that. It's only in the doing that we figure it out. And the doing is really important too, because that begins to move us towards mastery, towards us being really great and also blissing and having fun. The more we have mastery, the more fun we're having, because we don't have our attention on what am I saying? What am I doing? Is it all
Right.
correct?
Mm.
And that's why we got to get started with whatever it is we want to do. So, because the
Yeah.
more we do it, the more masterful we'll get.
Wow. Powerful. So I'm curious, who or what has been the biggest influence, the biggest inspiration in your journey?
Wendy, and of course, Stephanie. So I always considered myself a daddy's girl, right? Daddy's girl.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, however, was hugely influential because she modeled an independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
She also modeled entrepreneurial bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she was a school teacher.
Okay.
However, she had her side hustle, as we would call it these days. She had an Italian novelty business, like
Really?
t-shirts that say, the nicest people marry Italians, the luckiest people have a root in the boot, Italians and wine improve with age.
That's great.
She had this, and she would sell these t-shirts and mugs and all this stuff to
Yeah.
all the Italian clubs all over the country.
Yeah.
That was her side hustle.
That's brilliant.
But my dad, he would say, in my household, he would say, "Oh, your mom has a new scheme of the week." And that would be like some fun thing. Like she wanted to have chocolate chips Italiano with a touch of Galliano, and like her special ideas. She wrote a book,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
all
my
kinds
gosh.
of things. But the part that I saw
Yeah.
was that she would get an idea
Yeah.
and she would take action and she would have so much fun doing it. And I think that really influenced me a lot to not be concerned with having to have it all figured out. You just get going.
Mm-hmm.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. When I cracked that code, things got a hell of a lot easier and ease and flow crept in. And because don't we make everything hard. That's a broad statement, but I feel like, right? And then once we realize, oh, it doesn't have to be hard. And it can be fun, changes the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Well, and if we want to have it be more fun, let's keep looking at how can we make it more fun? How can we make it easier too? Because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we often don't embrace new solutions and new technology perhaps early enough, or we don't ask for help. It's really important to not only have more fun, but be more successful in whatever path we're on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's where having communities like, the different network communities that we're in really pays a big benefit, because we are connected to these other women who can help support us and help,
and share resources and share
Exactly.
ideas and go for a cup of coffee or whatever it is we need. And I really feel that community is definitely, is one of the keys to a very successful life, but also a very successful business and blissing in your business. It's having, a lot of people have like lifelong friends, which is great. If they're not entrepreneurs, they're not going to get you 100%.
Exactly. Yep.
And so it's really important for us to have our business girlfriends too, that we spend time with.
Yeah.
And, I'm also, of course, I'm about retreats, but the reason is because we have to get out of our own environment a couple times a year, go
Mhm.
somewhere else, reflect, rejuvenate, reconnect with ourselves, that's part of self-care. And as women in business too, we have to not see these things as indulgent. It's
Right.
good strategy,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because you can't serve or you can't give from an empty cup, right?
It's true.
100%.
It renews you and regenerates you. And
Exactly.
yep,
Exactly.
It's necessary,
it is necessary.
critical even.
Necessary self-care.
Yes.
Yep. And so what do people do on, say, your retreats?
I was just going to ask
Tell
that
us
same
about your
question.
retreats.
Yes.
Okay. We do lots of fun stuff.
Hey, bing, bing, bing.
Ding, ding, ding. So I will say, whoops, my thing went on. I will say that a retreat with me is not necessarily super relaxo, lay by the pool. Okay.
Right.
In fact, I always bring my bathing suit, but sometimes I get in the hot tub or the pool, but not
Mhm.
often. So the thing about that, we have different kinds of cruises, or excuse me, different kinds of retreats. Our
Yeah.
cruise retreats right now is we're getting ready for Amp Up, which is
Mhm.
our mastermind cruise for women speakers, podcasters, and business leaders.
Mhm.
And it's a week-long adventure on a ship with other amazing women. And we will do a lot of masterminding on the ship. We'll also have afternoon tea with fascinators. We'll do a accelerated jewelry exchange. We'll
Mhm.
do a excursion together. Oh, we do a silent disco / pajama party. And all this is total business,
Mhm.
as you're making connections, you're spending time
Yeah.
and time together. The way this idea, I was leading a retreat a couple of years ago on how to do women's retreats. And I do that every couple of years. I love to do that. And I said to the gals, I said, okay, come to my suite. I already always get a suite so the gals can come hang out. And we're going to mastermind for 90 minutes before dinner. And then we're going to go to dinner. The ladies were there for 7.5 hours. We, of course, ordered food in. They wanted to keep blah, blah, blahing. They wanted to keep
Mhm.
connecting and sharing resources. And what do you think about this? And have you tried this? And, you know, here's what is your opinion about this? And that was when I realized, okay, well, this is a big part of what they want to do is get together and do this. So that's why we're having a whole adventure just for that. And then
So
next year, we're going to Alaska for our Amp Up adventure.
nice.
I'm so glad you explained that because I was going to ask, like, how did this whole cruise thing happen?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Just that.
we got started on the cruises just because I like to cruise, and might as well do it on the ship.
That's right.
And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing, Wendy, is that on a ship, nobody can come late, nobody can leave early.
Mm-hmm.
Also, as I don't have to worry about people's dietary restrictions, the ship does that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, because believe me, having done retreat
Brilliant.
hotels, it's a lot. It's a lot to manage a lot of ladies with a lot of different
Right.
requirements.
Yes.
But also because they're together on a ship, and somebody else is taking care of everything,
Mm.
they have more time to get to know each other and put their attention on what's next for them.
Really cool.
So, Steph,
Yes. We're going next year to Alaska. Is what that
I
right?
didn't say that. I just gave you a look.
You're invited. You're invited. And then I do speaker mastermind retreats too, because
That sounds cool.
Really?
those are the Amp Up is a bigger retreat.
Yeah.
The speaker masterminds, you come for a week
Mm-hmm.
and there's only 10 gals because you need time
Okay.
to work on your speaking and practice. We have afternoon tea with fascinators during that retreat too. And we invite women to come in the middle of the week. We invite women from the area to come.
Okay.
And we have the speakers in there for the week tell their stories.
Mm.
And that's always a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And we actually break boards at that retreat too, because the idea is that you're breaking through to your next level with your speaking. That's really fun.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting to me.
And the thing is, we all want to work on our speaking, but we don't necessarily get time for it. So again, that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
They come together, and then we do a lot of the strategy. We do that all virtual, like how to get booked and how to be a good speaker partner and how to make offers and come home with clients and all the SOPs. We do that virtually, but coming to become a more confident and compelling speaker, we do that in person.
Awesome.
Yeah.
While wearing fascinators.
Heck yeah.
Well, just for one afternoon, we wear fascinators, my friend. But yes,
I love that.
I love fascinators. They're so fun.
They're
Yeah.
fascinating.
They are fascinating.
I love that. So cool. Oh my goodness. I feel like, is there something else that you do? I feel like we're missing something. There's something.
Well,
Author, podcaster.
I
Yeah.
am a
Tell us
podcaster.
about your podcast.
My podcast is called Expand Your Fempire.
Yep.
Love
Yeah.
that.
It talks a lot about, we have over 150 episodes. It talks about speaking, sales, mindset,
Wow.
focusing in your business, how to build community, how to
Mhm.
keep your clients coming back, different hot topics, how to onboard your clients.
Mhm.
We have many different hot topics as well as experts. And the idea is that, okay, so let me say this.
Yeah.
Over the years, I've acquired many guiding principles by
Mhm.
which I run my business.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, the other thing is we have a year-long mentorship program called Expand Your Fempire.
Mhm.
It's for women that want to build fempires, big businesses. Big businesses meaning anything over 6 figures. I would qualify as moving towards
Mhm.
7 figures. And one of my guiding principles is, run your business for where you're going, not where you are.
Mm.
And
Wow.
at the thing, also always offer the next thing, and different tips and principles. And
Mhm.
so I love to mentor women to build their fempires as well. That's really fun.
That's fantastic.
Um,
I love
and
that.
of course, that includes a retreat too, because you got to get the ladies together. Amazing things happen when women get together in the same room.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Indeed. I had to write down what you just said. Run your business from where you are going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many years ago, I used to be a runaround speaker, like running around training.
Oh, okay.
And then I got married, and I thought, okay, I don't want to be running to
Mhm.
Timbuktu when I want to be home with my sweetheart.
Right.
I started to see that there were speakers and coaches that they would host their own events, and people from all over would come.
To them.
And
Huh.
I thought, I'm not there yet. I'm not where people are going to fly in to come hang out with me. But that's where I want to go.
Mhm.
So that's how I started to run my business. I started to
Mhm.
host the events. I started to run the programs.
Mhm.
And really what it did was it got me going now, as opposed to getting ready to get ready. Because I
Mhm.
was thinking, oh, okay, well, the person I'm becoming, she's doing this, so I better get going on that now.
Right.
Okay. And when you start to make decisions based on where you're going,
Mhm.
it's more possibility focused. It's more
Mhm.
your potential focused rather than, is this the best financial decision right
Right.
now? Well,
Mhm.
maybe not, but you're going to stretch because where you're going, that's a very smart investment, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
You're almost thinking of what would my future self, what
Right.
would my future self thank me for?
Right. Exactly, Wendy. That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, my goodness, I've learned so much from this conversation, and time has just gone like
Yeah.
right that quickly.
See?
Let's see. Steph is going to put all of the links and all the things
Great.
in the show
Show
notes and everywhere, so everyone can get in touch with you and Caterina, it's been our pleasure.
Thank you. It's really fun. And I do want to mention, I do a free
Yes.
workshop every month. So
Nice.
come and hang out with me.
Really?
Sales or speaking or retreats, or
Mm-hmm.
I did one on wear your heart all over your business for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
So come hang out. I would love it.
Absolutely.
awesome. That link will be in the show notes and social and everywhere. So come hang out with Caterina.
Mhm.
Bing, bing, bing.
Bing, bing, bing.
Ding ding.
Wendy.
Have a,
Thank you, Stephanie.
of course. Thank you so
you
much
so
for being
much.
with us, and we'll see you next time.
See you next week.